Buenas tardes a todos, les habla Marta Cadavid en una sesión más de Fraude al Desnudo. Hoy con una invitada súper especial que tuve la oportunidad de conocer virtualmente a través de LinkedIn. Ella es Rupa Singh. Recuerden que teníamos una cita con ella, pero infortunadamente tuvimos un problema logístico, pero yo les prometí que iba a estar acá con Rupa y acá la tengo conmigo. Rupa está en India, entonces nos toca cambiar de español a inglés para poder empezar esta presentación, para poder conversar con ella. El programa lo estamos grabando, así que va a ser presentado a ustedes o está siendo presentado a ustedes en diferido. Hello, Rupa, how are you today?
Hello, Marta. It's such a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me on your, beautiful podcast, The Naked Fraud. I'm so
Oh,
excited to be here.
we are so excited to thank you for accepting the invite. I already explained to my audience that we had just a small logistic problems the other day, but today we are just feeling this promise that having you, because I love your work, I love what you are doing, and then that's why for us and for my audience in Latin America, it's important that you are that's like a role model in Europe and India and worldwide about ethics and artificial intelligence. But Rupa, before to start this conversation, please tell us know who you are.
Yeah, sure, Marta. And as you know, well, so I'll start with my current introduction. I'm author of two books, AI Ethics with Buddhist Perspective and Operationalizing AI Ethics. And I'm also the member of Scientific Committee of AI Ethics Association and recognized as top 20 global AI ethics leader. And I started my journey around in AI, data science, and AI ethics around 5 years back. And I started with uh, educating students and professionals in the field of data science and machine learning. And eventually, I understood the deeper understanding I had about the technology. I also understood the challenges that it can impose. And if we are not considering the challenges, and if you're not balancing the innovation and ethical consideration, the results can be really challenging. And I love the quote from Stuart Russell from his book, Human Compatible AI, and he talks about value alignment problem. And he shared the story of King Midas. So I would love to, share that story. I'm sure some of you might have heard about the story of King Midas. He was a greedy King Midas, and he once wished uh, that everything he touches should turn to gold, and he exactly got what he wanted. So he touched the pillars of his palace. I turned into gold. The table, chairs, all the materialistic things that got into turned into gold, and eventually his food, his relatives, and his own relatives turned into gold, and the king died in misery and starvation. And that talks about uh, what we desire. It must align with our greatest values, uh, and so it's so relevant with AI. uh,
Yes.
and if we fail to align the value of machines with the value of humans, the results can be catastrophic. And that led me to explore more into this field. And why I started with the Buddhist perspective, because through my own life's challenges, there was a time in my life in 2016-17 while I was going through the uh, you know toughest phase of my life, and the Buddhist approach helped me come up with those challenges. Letting go of the things and non-attachment, mindfulness, compassion was the only thing that I could resort to overcome those challenges. And I thought that this philosophy is so profound dealing with the challenges of current technology. Ultimately, it comes from our core human values. So the problem is not with the technology. The
No.
technology does not have intention. The
Yes.
problem is with the intention of humans. So that led me explore this technology, and yes, and I'm so happy to share my experience uh, in this conversation.
Thank you, Rupa. And this is why I contacted you from the very beginning when we started the conversations months ago, because um, let's call the universe whatever. So we create tools to improve our lives, and we create tools to improve the way that we work. The way that we use the tools is the way that we express our values, and I agree. So you are an artificial intelligence ethicist. You have
Ethicist.
explored the intersection between technology and ethics very much extensively. So, how do you perceive the role of artificial intelligence and in the mitigation to spread the misinformation and defects, particularly in the context of democratic process? How did you perceive this artificial intelligence?
That's a very fascinating question, Marta. And I would like to begin with a quote from Klaus Schwab, and says that we stand on the brink of a technological revolution that will fundamentally alter the way we live, work, and relate to one another. And in its scale, scope, and complexity, the transformation will be unlike anything humankind has experienced before. And how AI has become, it's so fascinating to see that how AI has become both a tool and a weapon in the spread of misinformation. And if we look back, the social media was initially celebrated as a beacon of democracy and a platform where
Yes.
everyone had a voice, right? And where information could flow freely. But with that same openness, and when combined with this powerful technology such as AI, now it has turned into a double-edged sword. Now imagine the power of AI enhanced tools that can generate misinformation and distribute content at an unprecedented speed. And now we're no longer just dealing with human errors, but we are also dealing with the contending with AI that can be so persuasive, and yet entirely fabricated content, what we often refer to as deepfakes. And these are not just misleading articles or images, they are hyper realistic videos
Yes.
and audio clips that can mimic anyone's voice. And even the world's most powerful leaders. And just picture this, the impact of fake videos showing the world leader making inflammatory statements on the eve of an election, and it could sway voters, create chaos, and even spark international conflict. And I love the quote of Mark Twain. He says, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes." And today this quote is truer than ever before. And what's particularly insidious about AI generated misinformation
Hmm.
is its scalability. And it's so accessible, even, and if it gets into nefarious hands, it can be really destructive. Now, take the example of large language models such as ChatGPT. And these
Yes.
models can churn out vast quantities of text that appear credible and well reasoned, and making it nearly impossible for the average person to distinguish what's real and what's not. And then we have circular reporting, where one outlet publishes misinformation and the other reprints it, and then the first cites uh, as a source of second as a source of information, which again amplifies the lie. And Barack Obama says that there's so much active misinformation that is packaged so very well. And it looks same when you see it on a Facebook page or you turn on your television, and if everything seems to be the same and no distinctions are made, we
No?
wouldn't know what to protect. So this brings us to the core issue, the erosion of trust in a world where deep fakes and AI generated content are rampant, and the very fabric of our society. Uh, our trust in institutions, in media, and in each other can be begins to shatter, and people start to question everything, unsure of what is real. And this is incredibly dangerous for democracy because it undermines informed decision making. So, however, it's not all doom and gloom. AI also offers solution. We are seeing the development of sophisticated AI detection systems that can identify deepfakes and trace the origins of fake news.
Yep.
And you are an expert in that, Marta, to find the origins of fake news and fraud detection and yeah.
Rupa, I was in a conference last week, Thursday and Friday, the Flow Retreat in the Denver here in United States, and we were talking about that. Uh, and we admit that it's getting more difficult to identify which is real, which is not.
Yeah.
So it means that we have to learn more about these issues. So we cannot be isolated. First of all, we cannot say I don't want to use it because I don't know what is real, what is not, because nowadays many processes are running with artificial intelligence, and we watch television and we have kids, so the life is going on. So but we need to understand the last part that you said is how to identify it when it's, for example, a deep fake video, or when it's a fake news. So it's the time that we had to take seriously the resources of information nowadays. And it's sad that we believed that the social media will be the way to spread the democracy in the world, but nowadays it's undermining because artificial intelligence is used in a bad way. So let's talk
Absolutely.
about your wonderful book because, okay, hey people, Rupa wrote a wonderful book called Artificial Intelligence Ethics with Buddhist Perspective. That's amazing. So the book offers a unique lens of artificial intelligence ethics. So, Rupa, could you share how Buddhist principles can guide us in addressing the ethical challenges posed by artificial intelligence, especially in the real misinformation and social media?
Well, thank you for this wonderful question, Marta. And when I wrote this book, Ethics with Buddhist Perspective, I was deeply inspired by the timeless wisdom found in Buddhist teachings and how they can be applied to the modern challenges we face today, and especially in the realm of AI technology. And Buddha suggests four noble truths. The first one is life is suffering. Human always have unlimited desires and attachment to impermanent things, which leads to dissatisfaction. And the second one is suffering is caused by desire. Humans craving and attachment to people, possessions, power, and life itself
Yep.
results in suffering, as these are all temporary, and everything we want forever and stay the same forever. But we cannot catch the running stream. We cannot have permanent relationships in this impermanent world, and our desires would always end in disappointments. And desire fuels the suffering in the same way as wood fuels the fire. And the third one is the third noble truth by Buddha is there's no end to suffering. If the desires and craving of impermanent things can be stopped and we accept the fact that change is inevitable, we can eliminate our sufferings. And if we cannot change the situation around us, we may choose to change our responses. And then how to be free of this suffering. To be free of these sufferings, Buddha points us to the noble eightfold path. And these noble eightfold paths are right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood. And the next three are related to meditation. So Buddhism emphasizes on mindfulness, intention, and interconnectedness of all beings. Principles that incredibly relevant when we talk about the ethical use of AI. Now, take the spread of misinformation, for example, as you asked this question, which can be misinformation, which can be magnified by AI and social media. And one of the key Buddhist teaching is right speech, which encourages speaking truthfully, helpfully, and compassionately. Now, imagine if these principles were embedded into the very algorithms that govern our digital lives. Now, if AI systems are designed with right speech in mind, their purpose would shift from simply engaging in users or maximizing clicks to fostering truthful and constructive dialogue. Now, you know, any like, any post that we do in social media, Facebook, you do 10 likes on social media platform, they know what your preference is. If you do more than 100 likes and engage in posts, they can know better than your colleagues and your friends. And if you have more than 300 impressions, they know you better than your spouse or your very close relatives, right? So, and in the context of misinformation, the perspective becomes very crucial, becomes Buddhist perspective very becomes very crucial. And the rapid spread of falsehood, which we call fake news, is often driven by algorithms that prioritize sensationalism of truths over truth. And if we apply Buddhist principles, we begin to see that the ethical responsibility doesn't just lie with the creators of content, but also with the creators of the platforms and
Hmm.
algorithms that distribute this content.
Yes,
And
something. Excuse me. Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. And then Buddhist teachings also emphasizes on the importance of right intention, which is about cultivating goodwill and reducing harm. And if we bring this into the design and development of AI, particularly in social media, we might prioritize content that educates rather than deceives, that connects rather than divides. And another one is interconnectedness, in which Buddhism reminds us about our actions, even in the digital world, have far reaching consequences. And the spread of misinformation is not just a problem for those directly deceived, it affects entire societies, eroding trust, polarizing communities, and even threatening democratic processes. And we have seen in numerous global events. And when we view AI through this lens, from the Buddhist lens, we understand the ethical considerations must be at the forefront of technological revolution, innovation. And so addressing ethical challenges posed by AI, especially in the context of misinformation, Buddhist principles offers us a framework that is both timeless and profoundly relevant. And they remind us that our technologies should serve humanity, not just in terms of productivity or profit, but in ways that nurture our better selves and contribute to a more truthful, compassionate world.
Oh, this is amazing because I had to be honest. Um, I didn't know the principles. And Rupa, I am pretty sure that many people in our audience don't know the principles neither. So what you had expressed today is very important for us because we never tied these principles with the principles of artificial intelligence. But I agree with you. So it's not only to deliver information, it's only to be responsible about to create a platform to ensure that everything can speak freely but truthful, so that the information is real. And this is one of the biggest problems. So once the so people start to spread lies on social media, the platform owners don't care about it. As long as they are producing money, as long as people they had traffic of people, it means a lot of viewers are interacting with others. Yes, this is the more important thing: power and money. They don't care if there is integrity there. This is wow. I told you everybody that said your these conversations will be totally different and it has been amazing. So let's talk about the global artificial intelligence governance and how um, European Union talks about artificial intelligence. What are the most pressing ethical concerns that you believe we need to be addressed to prevent artificial intelligence from becoming, how can I say, for manipulating and erosion the trust and in democratic institutions? What do you think we need to do?
Yeah, Marta, so one of the primary concern is transparency, and AI systems, especially those deployed in critical areas such as social media or law enforcement, must be transparent in how they operate. And but transparency isn't just about opening the black box of AI; it is also about making sure that the average person, not just experts, can understand how decisions are being made. Now, imagine a social media platform powered by AI can that subtly uh, manipulates the content you see based on algorithms that prioritize sensationalism or polarizing topics. Without transparency, users have no way of knowing that they are being subtly guided towards certain views or decisions. And nowadays, um, these social media, they're not just distributing the content, but they're also persuading you, manipulating you to believe something which is related to propaganda based or which is not true. And now then there's an issue of accountability. Who is responsible when an AI system makes a decision that leads to harm or misinformation? Now, the EU AI Act places a strong emphasis on this, requiring that high risk AI systems undergo risk assessments before they can be deployed. But beyond legal frameworks, there is also moral obligation for companies and developers to ensure that their AI systems are not being used to exploit or mislead. And
Yes.
we've seen how AI powered deepfakes and misinformation can be weaponized to sow discord or influence elections. And the stakes are incredibly high. And if we don't hold creators and deployers of AI accountable, we risk losing control over how these powerful tools are used. And another critical concern is bias. And AI systems are only as good as the data that they are trained on. And if the data is biased, the AI will also be biased. And this can lead to a range of ethical issues from reinforcing existing social inequalities to making unfair decisions in crucial areas such as hiring, lending, or even criminal justice. So the EU AI Act tries to address this by requiring rigorous testing and validation of AI systems, particularly those classified as high risk. And however, the challenges lies in not only identifying and mitigating bias, but also in ensuring that AI systems are designed with fairness in mind from the very beginning. And lastly, we must consider the global impact of AI governance. Now, EU has taken a leadership role with the AI Act, much like the way it did in GDPR for data privacy, the so-called Brussels effect, and
Yes.
which means that these regulations will likely influence global standards, pushing other countries to adopt similar rules. And this is crucial because AI doesn't respect borders. What happens in one part of the world can have ripple effects globally. And we need international cooperation to ensure AI is governed in a way that upholds democratic values everywhere and not just within EU.
Rupa, this question is very important for us because how can I say this? We had to see in different countries how the regulations of the GDPR is implemented. Sometimes they don't have the complete view about artificial intelligence act in the United Nations. Sometimes we feel like they are short because they feel afraid about artificial intelligence, and then it cuts the wings to protect, predict, and prevent economic crimes. So in our particular case, Rupa, since we are developers of the Fraud Explorer, so we had to incorporate these global standards. It's not only just one regulation, it's just the global standards because we have to provide, it's an obligation. So this is the message for these people who developed platforms. We are obligated to have global standards or follow the global regulations in order to provide the best service to our clients and to ensure that we are following these regulations. So we need to read more about the Artificial Intelligence Act in Europe. We need to understand the GDPR global standards and everything that is related to the protection information. So, Rupa, the phenomenon of circular reporting and the spread of fake news, um, we know that it has both things has very complications and they have bad implications in society. So, how do you think artificial intelligence governance frameworks can help cure these issues? Uh, and the role that global collaboration play in this effort. What do you think about the combination of global regulations and then people working together to uh, to avoid or to help the mitigation of the fake news and misinformation?
Thank you for this question, Marta. And I would like to start this question with a poem from my book that is called Cloud Empires, and it covers almost all the questions that we have asked in this question. So please allow me to narrate this poem. Uh, so the poem is about cloud empires, and it says that they don't need gold, silver, private jets, or foreign visits. All they need is your life's digits. You comment, like, share, and click. Facebook, Snapchat, Amazon, Spotify, and Netflix, they helped create Google Analytics. Marketers, designers work hard for you to get tricked, creating contents to keep you hooked so that you get into the never ending loop. They know you more than your friends and show you what's latest in the trends. You upload, you download, or share any digits. In the backend, they hack your website visits. You sell, you buy, and flaunt your latest dress. Facebook friends, their holiday vacations keep you in deep distress. We check in, we check out, post our pictures with a pout. All our actions get traced. Now learning has become self-paced. Your With all your digits, you get classified. Your access to my room then gets verified. Once they check money in your pocket, they make promises they promise to make your life skyrocket. You click, share, you like, share, click, upload, or download. All this is shown in their dashboard. They don't have horses, camels, or elephants. They don't need rockets, missiles, or military tanks. They don't have to cross borders to wage war. They can harm you from your data even if you're far. Uh, so yes, so this is about the poem from my book, Ethics with Buddhist Perspective. And coming back to your question, Marta, uh, the circular reporting and the rapid spread of fake news have indeed created a challenging environment for truth and trust in our societies. And AI, while often seen as part of the problem, can also be a significant part of the solution if governed properly. So imagine the digital world as a vast landscape where information flows like rivers, and some clean and refreshing, others polluted and toxic. So in this landscape, AI acts as a powerful tool that can filter and purify these waters, and unfortunately as a mechanism that can sometimes amplify the pollution if left unchecked. Now, circular reporting is a prime example of how misinformation can flow endlessly through this landscape, creating the illusion of truth through repetition. And when one publication publishes misinformation and others cites it without verification, the dangerous cycle begins where false information is reinforced if not corrected. So AI governance frameworks can serve as a guidelines or as a purification systems that ensure that rivers of information remains as clean as possible. And by setting standards for transparency, accuracy, and accountability, AI can be used to detect and halt the spread of misinformation before it gains traction. Now, for instance, algorithms can be designed to flag content that appear to be a repetition of a previously debunked claim, or to trace the origins of a piece of information back to its source, ensuring that users are aware of its credibility. And however, the nature of information flow in our globalized world means that no single country or region can address these issues alone. Global collaboration is crucial. And just as misinformation knows no borders, neither should our efforts to combat it. So countries need to share best practices, harmonize regulations where possible, and work together to create a coherent global framework. And this is where initiatives such as EU AI Act can have a broader impact, influencing global standards and encouraging other regions to adopt similar measures. And moreover, we think about from the broader ecosystem, education. So it's not just about the technology, but I call it technology, regulation, and education, and all working together. So
Yes.
AI governance is just one piece of the puzzle. We must also educate the public to make a more discerning, because to be more discerning consumers of information, and support the development of technologies that can detect and counteract misinformation in real time. And global collaboration can facilitate this by creating international standards and platforms for sharing data, research, and strategies to combat misinformation. And when we have strong global collaboration, it can lead to restore trust in digital information landscape, and and they can turn the tide against misinformation, ensuring that the truth has a fighting chance to catch up before the lie makes its way around the world.
So great. Yeah. See, yes, we had to work together. And I think the academic, the professional associations, and companies must be together in this big effort. We cannot be isolated, as I told you from the beginning, but also we cannot just act with our responsibility or just put the responsibility in another person and thinking that because they are the developers, they are the responsible. No, we had to work together, especially in the academy and with our families. So,
Absolutely.
Rupa, uh, in this part that is very personal, because many people don't know how we work, how we are inspired by something. I would like to know what inspiring you to write operationalizing artificial intelligence ethics. That's the name of the book. And how uh, has your journey in artificial intelligence ethics, which is not easy, influenced your views on the potential and perils of artificial intelligence uses in today's world?
Yeah, that's a very important question, Marta, and it's so important that now we understand the uh, importance of AI ethics, ethical consideration that AI is needed. But how do we operationalize AI ethics? So that is something which really inspired me to work on this book. And I like this quote that elephants don't bite, and no one ever gets bitten by an elephant. It is the mosquitoes who bite. Uh, and this quote was written by Joel Weldon. And so the devil is in the details, and it is the little
Yes,
things that we tend to ignore causes the trouble, but it is also the little things that we do right can bring us huge rewards. So in the world of AI and technology, we often focus on big picture. We are captivated by the idea of AI powered breakthroughs, the promises of transformative technologies, and the potential for brighter future. While these are all critical aspects of AI, it is the small things, the ethical nuances that can either lead us to success or bite us when we are not looking. So it is seemingly insignificant decisions and actions we take in the development or deployment of AI, uh, or the use of AI that can pave the way for ethical success or leads us to down a treacherous path. And for instance, consider the issue of biased algorithms. It is the subtle biases in training data, the unnoticed algorithmic quirks, and the overlooked fairness assessments that can lead to AI
yep,
systems perpetuating discrimination and inequality. And or think about data privacy. It is the seemingly harmless data collection practices, the unnoticed data breaches, and the failure to secure user information that can result in serious violations of privacy and trust. So what can we do to ensure we are not bitten by these ethical mosquitoes? Um how can we be fastidious about the little things in AI ethics to reach the top of our field and bring about a positive change? And here, the keys to operationalize AI ethics, and it means integrating ethical consideration into every step of AI lifecycle, from design and development to deployment and beyond. It means paying attention to those seemingly small decisions, like how we can curate training data, the transparency of our algorithms, and the ongoing monitoring of AI systems for unintended consequences. And it also means involving diverse voices and perspective in the decision making processes, conducting ethical impact assessments, and being prepared to adapt and evolve as new ethical challenges arise.
excellent.
So yeah, and or it's important that organizations must balance the pursuit of profitability and shareholder returns with an awareness of the potential risk and ethical implications of their AI systems. And so yes, and crucial for business leaders to navigate the complex landscape of AI to ensure that their organizations thrive while also contributing positively to societies.
Yeah, thank you, Rupa. I think it has been a wonderful conversation about these topics. Real, so it has been a pleasure to having you in our program, Nick Efrat, talking about ethics and artificial intelligence. I can agree with you. Artificial intelligence is a wonderful way to work. We can use it for many things, but it has to be controlled by humans. So it's not just because it's huge and it's going to analyze big data faster, cheaper, with less people. We had just to allow the artificial intelligence to do everything. So we had to be responsible and understand that this is a tool. That's it. So, Rupa, just to finish our session, so I would like it that you tell us where people can find you. So, if somebody wants to talk to you, we know that you are in India. Please correct me if I am wrong, but I would like that you have more influence here in America and Latin America.
Thank you, first of all, Marta, for inviting me to your podcast. It has been such an honor talking to you and sharing my insights on the amazing questions that you had. So it's always a pleasure talking to you, Marta, and I'm so inspired by your work and your contribution in the
Thank
field
you.
of technology. I'm so inspired by you. Uh, and so yes, I live in India, and uh, anyone who wants, and I would love to connect with people on LinkedIn. I'm more active on LinkedIn,
Okay.
so you can easily find me with my name. Or if you want, I can also share my LinkedIn ID.
Yeah, I can post it when I posted the video. I can post your information because I want that people connect to you, contact you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
Uh,
Okay, Rupa, thank you so much again. And hopefully next time we can see just to hug each other. Hopefully
yes.
here in United States, hopefully in Europe. But in the meantime, let's continue working on these topics and inspire people. And thank you.
Thank you so
So you are doing a wonderful, wonderful job about artificial intelligence and ethics. And my program is your program and anytime. So we are open to receive your information and talk anytime with us. Okay.
Thank you so much, Marta. It's such a wonderful and such a pleasure talking to you. I am looking forward to, you know, having interesting conversation again and again with you.
Ok, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ok, esta ha sido una conversación maravillosa con Rupa Singh hablando acerca de inteligencia artificial y ethics. Por favor, síganla en LinkedIn. Es una de las personas que más habla de estos temas con bastante claridad y sobre todo alineado con las regulaciones y los estándares globales. Les cuento que ha sido un placer tenerla aquí. Finalmente ya la pudimos concretar. Y por favor, ojalá puedan conseguir sus libros porque son fascinantes. Muchas, muchas, muchas gracias a todos por conectarse hoy en este programa diferido de Fraude al Desnudo y recuerden compartir la información. Alguien la está esperando. Nos vemos. Hasta pronto. Ok.